What is going on, everyone? I absolutely cocked up the intro in that first interview. Well, not absolutely cocked it up. I'll give myself some credit. But today, joining me for Violent Money TV was Stuart Austin. We spoke about his previous fight, what's coming next for him, and a lot more as well. So stay tuned and see what he has to say. There's some juicy things in there that you'll want to see, that you'll want to know as well. Bye-bye. A brilliant performance in his Oktagon debut, Stuart Austin. Obviously, this time not joined by the van. The beautiful views, must be on holiday or something. How are you doing today, buddy?
I'm great, thank you very much. Absolutely awesome. Yeah, out in Rhodes, hitting the Greek islands up, living the life. Yeah, living a little bit of rest before I get into training for the next one.
Yeah, and to come off the debut win that you had, it was a great performance. And in terms of sort of looking what's next now, there's the Manchester card in November at the AO Arena. Is that the next show that you're looking to get on, or are you looking to fight even before that?
I want to fight before that. I messaged a few people this morning. Was like, look, get me sooner. I want to be going into Manchester with 2 wins under my belt. Under Oktagon. Like I say, like I said in the last one, I said I want the main event. So like, you got to win some fights to get there.
Yeah, and as well, obviously, some of the fighters that you're working with and coaching as well, there's a busy time for them, busy time overall for you. But in terms of sort of looking, in terms of what's coming after this fight, what are you looking to sort of achieve? And then in terms of what's going on, what's coming up in the future for you at the moment?
Well, the immediate future in my kind of head is whether it's this next one or the one after is the belt. I definitely want to be fighting for the belt in Manchester, whether it's defending it or whether it's looking to win it there. But like for my athletes, it just never stops as well. So I've got such a big group of athletes now that it's like there's kind of too many to mention. I've got people coming up in Europe. I've got kids going to fight the amateur Indian national championships to qualify for IMAFs. I've got people literally like I probably might be going to Poland at the end of the month for the Polish IMAF qualifiers as well. It never ends. It literally never ends. So yeah, but fun times. It's exciting. It's how I'd rather be.
100%. And then obviously, in terms of sort of getting the Oktagon debut sort of out of the way, obviously coming away with the win there, was it the debut that you expected it to be? What are your sort of reflections in terms of looking back on that fight and how everything went during fight week?
Oh, I'm buzzing. I'm really happy. Like, I didn't get the finish, but like the performance was excellent. Complete to me is pretty much a whitewash. It was like, it was all me the whole fight. I got some decent strikes, won the striking, won the wrestling, won the grappling. So, what more can you want, really? It was also nice as well. I got 15 minutes experience. So that's always good. More experience is just better. So yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Like John's I knew he was a solid guy before and a good athlete, but he's improved a lot. You can like in there. I can feel his grappling. He has improved significantly. So it's hard to push for a finish sometimes. Like you can't always get people out there. And I'm a vet, so I'm not like sort of a foolish young fighter who's just going to try and finish and try and finish and try and finish. They can't. I landed a lot of strikes. I hit 6 takedowns, so it's I'm kind of like I hold myself to a high standard, but I also like understand that I did achieve a good thing there.
Yeah, and in terms of sort of obviously looking at the fight, there's always a game plan, but when you're in there, things can go a bit different. Was there anything other than sort of the grappling side that you weren't expecting for him to bring into the fight, or was he sort of fighting the way that you sort of saw him fighting come fight night?
Actually, no. I thought he was gonna because he has a good 1-2. Yeah, good jab cross, and I've been caught with that a couple of times in the past. It's something I've obviously been working a lot on my defense. But I thought he was gonna go. I thought that 1-2 I was gonna see that quite a lot. And I also thought he was going to be trying to maybe kick the body and kick the head a little bit because again he has in the past. Whereas he tried to go for calf kicks, and he landed one in the first round, and from there I avoided everyone. I mean the second calf kick he tried to land, I I moved my leg out of the way so smoothly that he fell over. So it's no, it was good. It was good. Like he kind of didn't give me what I was expecting from his striking at all. I was expecting to be quite different, but like my reads now, like in the kind of last 8, 10, 12 months, I've just become way more adept at reading fights and reading fighters as I go. Um, and I just kind of like I pretty much knew everything he was going to do before he did it. In this case, I just saw his body, and like I analyzed on the spot, and yeah, I was able to adjust.
Yeah, and then as well, obviously, making the debut one of the big ones is the fans there, and the arena's always been sold out, big crowds. Was that something that you were taken back by, or how did you sort of feel the atmosphere was in there when it was your fight?
It was super positive. Like what it was. I'll be honest, like the type of visualizations I'm doing now, that I've been working on for literally for my last 2 fights. I'm kind of unaware of the arena now. I'm very focused on the cage and what I'm gonna do. So I kind of like blank it all out. But there were a few times I heard people chanting my name and had good, kind of good reception. But like generally, like it felt like the crowd was very positive. Like people were cheering and they were excited, but there was no like, we grappled a lot. I was throwing a lot of ground and pound and stuff like that. And sometimes, some of the less educated crowds aren't as interested in that. So like, people weren't worried that, that they can obviously see what you're doing on the floor. They can see me striking. They can see me moving past the guard. They can see me, doing that type of thing, and they were interested in it. So it was good. It felt like an educated crowd, but it was also that the crazy thing is it was by far the biggest crowd I've fought in front of. I fought in front of arenas that are that big, but usually there've been, like, a bunch of people dressed up as empty seats. So that was pretty cool. It's I think 9 or 10,000 people, and like every seat was full. It was amazing.
Yeah, and then as well, obviously, the first time that we spoke before the fight, you mentioned some of the names that you could potentially face now, moving sort of towards the title. Obviously, one of them that I remember is Hatab Mall, and then some other guys, and they seem to be the people that are right around there, also maybe a fight away from the title. So, do you feel at the very minimum for yourself, it is sort of a number one contenders bout that you are looking for in the next fight?
Oh yeah, minimum. Yeah, 100, like absolutely minimum. I mean, to me, like the way I see it with Octagon, that they're playing a game where they want to put British guys in for the title, in Manchester. So you just got to play your part and win. And unfortunately, this time I think I was the only British lad who won. We had some tough fights and some tough results. Everyone fought well, but when it comes to title picture, you've got to get the W's. And I was the only one who got it this time. That's why I want a second. I want another fight. So if I'm not in title fight next time, then it's going to be the one after. I think me and Hatif it'd be an amazing challenge to have it in Manchester. That'd be one of the tough fights. I've also been looking at Lazar Todov, who's another guy. I think he's on a 6-fight win streak now, and he just beat a really solid guy. So yeah, there's 2 guys kind of in my immediate picture now, and then there's a bunch more guys there as well. And I'm sure I don't know the entire division yet. It's still fairly new to me.
Yeah, and then as well, in terms of sort of now looking at what can become of those sort of fights and looking at their opponents, is there one of them that you would rather have, or at the end of the day, is it all about just making sure that it's the fight that can either get you towards a title or even in the next fight get you that title?
Yeah, literally. Like, I mean, I've got to solve the puzzle they put in front of me. I personally think Hatif is the biggest fight, Moyle. I think that's a huge fight. He's a really good guy. He's got a really good team around him. He's got several wins in Octagon already. He's building some steam, and he's a really good fighter. I think I have like a lot of the answers to his problems personally. So you got to go in and test that. Got to go and test that theory. See if I can. He basically he's gonna try. He likes to do similar things to me. He likes to, throw some strikes to get into shots. He's big one. Loves a double leg. I personally think it's a hard ask to take me down. People have took me down, have really wasted energy doing it. So it kind of ends up hurting them more than it hurts me. And I'm really I'm pretty good at counter wrestling. You know, I'm able to take wrestlers down. Have in the past, you know, I've fought guys who've like been national champion wrestlers in different European countries, and I've taken them down. So yes, I'm excited. I'm really excited.
Yeah, and when taking a sort of look at that opponent, obviously, he seems to be one of the guys in Oktagon that you might be the only person that really says his name in terms of wanting to fight him. But do you feel as though when you do look at this division that you can't really look at any name and think, oh, I wouldn't want to fight him in terms of when there is, and then seeing the fighters that maybe don't want to fight these other people, do you feel as though it makes it that bit easier almost for you to get towards a title if the other fighters are not wanting to take those sort of fights?
I mean, oh, sorry, I've just lost the power on my headphones. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry, we're just on the microphone. I'll be honest, like, I'm happy to do the heavy lifting, and like, I come from a different era, you know. Nowadays, like, I have 25 fights now, which is quite a lot, but really, the amount of time I've been fighting, if people had stepped up, you know, maybe I'd have had 35, you know. And it's a case of like, I'm willing to do heavy lifting. No one's going to look at my, you know, my resume of the guys I've beaten and the guys I've lost to and say, like, I'm not happy to fight people. You know, I'm here to fight. I'm here to compete against the best guys in the world, and I've proved that multiple times in the past. And I kind of find it a little bit sad in the sport. You know, some people are here to try and, you know, just pad their record and fill it out with, you know, like, guys they know they can beat. You know, I'm not about that. This is not how I play the sport. Even with my athletes, like, you know, I never want to go and turn up to an event and think, oh my God, we've easily won this. Because it's kind of like fighting journeyman it's not a huge, it doesn't really do anything for me. It doesn't move the needle for me. You know, it doesn't excite me, you know, like, it's at the end of the day, like, if a big show wants to pay me to fight someone who's, you know, got 3 wins and 12 losses, that's absolutely fine. If they want to pay me a buttload of money, I'll take it. But, you know, most of the time the shows reward people. You know, I've been, you know, on big shows consistently and been a main event consistently because I'm willing to fight the people who people don't want to fight, you know, and I'm happy. And it's one of those ones, you win some, you lose some. It sucks, you know, like, not everyone can be Khabib Nurmagomedov, you know. It's but I'm happy. Like, and if these guys, what's going to happen? I noticed nobody called my name after that. Nobody saw that performance and said, I want to fight that guy, you know. And like, so I mean, you know, like, me and Hatif will have to be the kings of the division, won't we? Because, you know, like, if no one else wants to fight us, we'll have to fight each other for the gold belt, you know. But I'm excited. I would love to hear some guys, you know, like, throw my name out into the mix. Say it. But like I said, I'd like to fight Lazar Todov as well. You know, he's a really good guy. His record doesn't look the best. I think he's either 8-5 or 9-5, but he's on a 6-fight win streak. You know, to me, that says that's a guy who fought some really hard fights at the start of his career. Maybe needed a little bit of time to work his game out, and then, you know, obviously he's found out a good stride. And, you know, a 6-fight win streak is nothing to scoff at, especially in the heavyweight division.
100%, and that'll be everything from myself. If you'd like to take a chance, try any sponsors, anything like that, obviously just feel free to go ahead, buddy.
There's no sponsors. There's still no sponsors. No sponsors. Why are there no sponsors?
Well, you could be fighting for a title no less than November. What's going on, people?
I need to get more on that. You know, I need to get on that. Like, I want to look into, you know, like, providing a good. But I want with sponsors. Where I have been offered things in the past, but it's either stuff where I'm like, I don't have like. If I don't have like sometimes I have kind of like, I've had vape companies offer me things, and I'm kind of like, if people want to smoke vapes, that's fine, but morally I'm not into vapes, and I'm not going to encourage people to do vapes unless someone gives me a big enough stack of, you know, there's always a point in time where that stack of cash becomes big enough. But for, like, you know, for 100 quid, a couple hundred quid, I'm not going to encourage people to do something I personally don't like. But so, like, sponsors I have had in the past, I've always, like, believed in their stuff, and I kind of want to, you know, kind of stick to that for now, unless somebody has.
The money. I'm gonna
exactly, yeah.
It's crying to come in. It must be come on, Sully. But come here, boy.
Amazing.
But no, you don't want to come up. Come on, Sully. You've come in now. You've got to say your piece. Never mind, he won't bother. But no,
I would like to just thank. Sorry, just before I go, I would like to thank Wakinian MMA. That's Marcus Paul. Combat Coach UK. That's Rowan Katsu. Shah Kamali gets a shout out because he was in my corner for the last fight as well, and my guys at Fight Zone, and also the guys at Fight City who helped support me, and Pure Muscles Gym as well.
There you go. Appreciate your time, buddy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.